Stylometry is the application of the study of linguistic style. In practice, this means taking the word choice of two different works and comparing it to see if those two works are from the same author. In a computer context, stylometry is most often used to de-anonymize online blogs. Since blogs are usually written by an anonymous author, you can use stylometry to determine whether two blogs were written by the same person. The earliest documented usage of stylometry was in 1439, when it was used to prove the donation of Constantine was forged. The donation of Constantine was supposed to be an ancient Latin document, but the linguistic style used was closer to the Latin of the 1400s rather than ancient Latin. In 1890, Lutoslawski laid out the basics of stylometry in an attempt to normalize the field of stylometry and make it a more useful tool for linguistic analysis. Nowadays, it's been used in such things as checking whether Shakespeare was a single author or not. And computers have allowed people to conduct much more extensive stylometric analysis because they have such capacity for data analysis. However, we're still learning the correct principles to use when we apply computers to the field of stylometry. For example, when it was first used, it was used on the St. Peter's portion of the Bible, where it was found that that part was written by 6 different authors. You might think that's a surprising conclusion, but it was also used on a book, Ulysses, which was written by one person, and the same tactics found that book was written by 5 different authors, indicating a serious flaw in the stylometric analysis used. The most basic method for stylometric analysis is the author invariant method. This just means that a computer tests for patterns in an author's writing, such as the use of function words. So function words are actually really interesting. These two sentences indicate that function words have a significant influence on the meaning of a sentence. The first sentence has all of the non-function words replaced with nonsense, whereas the second sentence has all of the function words replaced with nonsense. You can tell that the first sentence retains some of its meaning, as you can kind of place the nonsense words as either a noun, a verb, or an adjective, and the function words still maintain a structure of the sentence, whereas the second sentence has completely lost its meaning because the function words are not there to guide a reader in the meaning of the sentence. This means that function words stay constant throughout different contexts, and that even when an author is writing different sentences, they probably use function words kind of the same, which is why it's used for stylometric analysis. You can also use things like syntactic pairs. You can see how an author pairs verbs and adjectives or nouns and adjectives together to see if that remains constant through different writing. So when these methods are applied to computers, you would often use things like neural networks or genetic algorithms to carry out stylometry. Neural networks is when you take a complicated computer and train it to do certain tasks. What this means is that you would give a computer a bunch of blogs from the same author. The computer would then construct relationships between these two blogs and then look for those same relationships in blogs of anonymous authorship. This allows the computer to guess when blogs are by the same author based on other blogs that it's seen before. Genetic algorithms uses set of rules which are modified and replaced to create an effective identification system. When a rule is seen to be effective, it is kept, and when a rule is seen to be ineffective, it's kicked out and replaced by a new rule. So these 4 authors, whose names I'm not even going to try and pronounce, conducted a modern study called On the Feasibility of Internet-Scale Author Identification. They collected 100,000 different blogs from various places on the internet, such as Google and other blog hosting sites, to use in their stylometric analysis. So the analysts tested post-to-blog recognition. What this meant is they took 3 posts from a single blog and then gave these 3 posts to a computer and had the computer rank the 100,000 online blogs according to which best matched the 3 blog posts. The computers were actually really effective. In 20% of all trials, the computers ranked the correct blog first, meaning that they were able to choose the correct blog that these 3 posts were from on their first try. Now, the computers were told that they always had to choose an author for every single blog, but when the computers were allowed to not choose an author, precision increased significantly. If the computers were allowed to guess on only 80% of the blogs, they had a precision of 50%. And if they were allowed to guess on only 50% of the blogs, they had a precision of 80%. This means that they could guess the correct blog that 3 posts were from 80% of the time. Here's an analysis of the results. You can see that with the most effective statistical method, the NN2 plus RLSC method, they achieved a precision of about 20% on the computer's first guess. Within the top 10 computer choices, the precision went up to about 35%. The second graph is an analysis of the different stylometric techniques used. When only single character frequencies were used or only function words, you can see the precision was only about 7%. But when all features were used, that precision jumped up to near 20%. What this means is that not one single stylometric technique was effective in determining the authorship of a blog. Instead, you need to use a multitude of different stylometric techniques. So these authors believe that the privacy provided by the internet is actually a big deal for free speech rights. They think that free speech in the modern age commonly manifests itself on the internet, where users can protect themselves by anonymously expressing their viewpoints. So they think that de-anonymizing blogs is actually a huge privacy problem. They conducted this study to show that you can actually de-anonymize blogs relatively successfully, and as further stylometric techniques come out into the open, it's going to get really easy to tell who authored a certain blog based on their other posts on the internet. So what they think is that stylometric analysis allows for better obfuscation programs, where you can actually write programs to change the style of your writing while maintaining the meaning. What this does is prevents stylometric analysis from correctly identifying different authors and preserves the free speech on the internet through preserving anonymity and privacy. That's all. Thanks for watching.